You are now listening to Ride With Me, the Flat Tire Nerdy Podcast.
Welcome to Ride With Me, episode 15. Today is August 8th, 2020, about 10:22 in the morning. And today I have a guest in here. He makes an amazing barbacoa. Say hello.
Hello, everyone.
He is also Officer Ricky's daddy.
Hey, how's it going, everyone? It's Officer Ricky back.
But the episode's not about Ricky today.
Not this time.
He's just here to support his dad.
And just so that everyone does know what my moniker is actually Chef Ricky Peace.
Ricky Peace?
Ricky Peace.
So he's a junior?
He's junior.
Yep, I'm the junior.
You don't look like a junior. I had a junior here recently. You don't look like a junior. I'm just playing. Anyways, I saw a video that Ricky sent me about like a quick 5-minute video.
It's like 5.5.
Yeah, it's like,
And it was you. Minutes. It was you talking about what you do for a living and your amazing food. And yes. I sampled that food today, and it was delicious.
What was it?
Very delicious.
En el tacón.
Now, I not that I'm like picky on what food is. I'm honestly not picky on food. Like, my wife can make something and she can be critiquing it, and I'm like, dude, did I eat it? Yes, it was delicious. I'll tell you it was delicious. I'll never tell you it was bad.
Yes.
No, actually, I lied. I will tell you when it's bad. Don't ever make this again. But I'm not really picky when it comes to food, because when I grew up, our meals half the time were cookies and milk. Half the time, the other half was whatever restaurant we all agreed on going. And not even any fancy restaurant. We're talking McDonald's. We're talking Burger King. We're talking all those famous places that I don't consider family-owned businesses right now due to this time. So we grew up just eating junk.
Yeah, and that's interesting because when I was a kid, my dad would always want to take us to McDonald's.
Yeah. And
I'm going to be honest, man, since I was a little kid, I never liked McDonald's. I didn't like fast food. There was something to me that just didn't taste right about it. And to the day, and Ricky can attest to this, I don't take them. That wasn't my thing. I would never take my kids to fast food restaurants. I just wouldn't.
Yeah, he's right. I mean, the person that actually would take us most times was my mom. I mean, for obvious reasons. My dad was working. Oh, yeah, of course. Well, yeah, of course. That's what grandpas and grandmas are supposed to do. Yeah, no, they would be the ones to take me. But yeah, now that I'm thinking about it back, that's kind of that. Yeah, he didn't actually take us to a lot of fast food restaurants.
And with me, like before I had custody of the kids, I noticed the similar patterns. Mom was always taking them to go eat at fast food places, and I'm 100% against that. I don't get me wrong. We do have fast food once in a while, but I made a rule when they first came to live with us. Rule number 1: fast food maybe once a month. If we remembered. If they didn't remember to ask for it, then we're not going. I just hate fast food. I'll eat it. Yeah. No. Some places are delicious. Yeah. Carl's Jr. has an amazing Western bacon cheeseburger. I'll eat it.
Yep.
But it's not my, what do you call it, cup of tea.
Yeah. Sometimes sometimes that's the choice because you may be on the road traveling somewhere. And that's what it is. But for me to say that's gonna be my first choice to go and get like a fast food, Taco Bell. Oh my God.
That's not real taco, man.
Oh boy, the mystery meat that
is truly mystery,
and that's why it's a secret,
right? No, like with me, after I left the mother of my kids, my meals were like a cup of noodles and whatever I can throw in the microwave, and until I started, when I first started dating my wife, she was making like lemon pepper chicken and lemon pepper fish and all this stuff, and like, this is too fancy. But it was delicious.
Good stuff.
And I got, it's funny because there was one time that she came out here to visit her family, and I had a chef that lived next door. So I went to she wasn't there. She was like I said, she was gone for the day. I didn't have my kids yet. So I'm like, what do I make? What do I make myself? I'm trying to figure out. I used to cook before. And she stepped in, and it just like I just lost it. I couldn't remember. Hey, and I called him, rest in peace, PJ. Hey, bud, how can I make this chicken? My neighbor threw me under the bus, and she texts my wife, hey, Andres is over here asking PJ how to make chicken. I get a text message, really, Andres? Really? Oh. I forgot. And in the moment he said, well, you can do lemon pepper. I got it. I got it. You just said lemon pepper chicken. I know what to do. I just I had a brain fart. I didn't remember how to make chicken. But my neighbor, Cindy, threw me under the bus. Again, rest in peace to her son, PJ. Oh. And chicken, I couldn't think. And to this day, it's like she does the cooking. They want me to make breakfast. I'll make breakfast. They like me making pancakes because I make pancakes, sausage, bacon, eggs, and everything that helped me gain 5 pounds yesterday. And that Barbacoa is not going to help, my friend. No joke. Today, I weighed myself and I'm like, okay, I've been down since we started eating vegan. I've dropped 12 pounds. All right, nice. Cool. I'm still trying to get under that 259 mark. I've never seen that 5 in a long time. I haven't seen that 5 in the 10th place in over 7 years.
Nice.
So today I weighed myself and I was just pissed off at myself. I had 1 cup of water and I came and sat in this garage until you guys got here because I wasn't going to be in there being bored and then picking that stuff in the refrigerator to help that weight go back up. I mean, I gained 5 pounds in just one day.
Well, if I may say, the barbacoa, the way we cook it, because it does have vinegar.
Okay.
It actually will help you lose weight.
Okay.
Believe it or not, I know it's hard to believe. Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Of course, I always say 2 will do. When people come up to the stands, and I always tell them 2 tacos. If you want to just feel comfortable, because the tacos they're big.
Yeah, they were.
You saw
nice size.
They're good size. So. But I've seen one guy, he ate 11.
Oh man.
And this guy was fit, but he was from Portland, Oregon, and he was a food blogger.
Okay.
And when he started just telling me, I'll take another one and another one and another one. And he just told me, just keep them coming. I'll tell you when I'm full.
When you're full.
When he was at 9, I was thinking the biggest guy can eat possibly 5 because they're huge. Yeah. They're big. I was putting at that, those days I was putting like 16 to 18 ounces of meat.
Yeah.
In each taco. And I was thinking, how is this guy eating so many?
Yeah. Well, you said bodybuilder, right?
No. He was just, just a fit. He was a fit guy. He was just fit.
Like slim build.
Okay.
Like that kind of. But you could tell he was like, he exercised stuff like that.
I thought he was like a...
No. He's just
professionally bodybuilder.
He was slim.
Schwarzenegger back in the 80s.
No.
Nowhere near that.
Nowhere near that. No. He was just, you can tell the guy was not overweight or anything. He was just, he was fit.
And he had 11.
He had 11. I just couldn't believe that he ate so many.
Okay. So before we get to what made him eat so many, since I have both of you here today, what do you feel about your son being a police officer? I mean, like, I met you the day at his graduation.
Yes.
And how proud are you of your son?
Very proud. It's not easy to get in with LAPD. It's I've had friends that have tried. He was actually already a police officer in New Mexico, and he came back to live in LA. He had gone to the military. He had a degree in law enforcement, and like I said, he was already a police officer in New Mexico.
Okay.
And he came in and he figured, clean shot. No reason why. They won't deny me.
Yeah.
Well,
he was denied.
They cut him loose at the last minute. They said, nope, sorry, you didn't pass the psych test. And so I know that it's not easy because I've had other friends also who have tried. Giovanni, he tried. Giovanni, sorry, buddy, didn't mean to throw you under the bus, but
he's not going to sue me, right?
No, he's not.
Okay. Sorry, that is a joke. That is a joke, and I think I throw it out there so often, but that is a joke. That I always say so and so is going to sue me for using their name or saying.
I didn't say it last name. It could have been anybody, but Gio, it was you.
Make sure he listens.
But yeah, so unfortunately, I know they didn't make it. It's not easy. It's tough. And when he started going into it, I was thinking, there's no way, man. That's a tough gig. It's not going to be easy to get in. And I'm very proud of you, Pop, because he really didn't struggle through it.
No,
it seems like he went at it straightforward, and I didn't really see a whole lot of struggle on his end. Like he never mentioned that he was
stressed out or
stressed or struggling with certain questions or scenarios or whatever the case may be. He pretty much went through it pretty smooth.
And I think was it the mayor or the chief of police that said that he thanked the parents, because if it wasn't for the parents, they wouldn't have made it, and to be able to pass a psych test, I wouldn't, dude. They'd probably arrest me there and then. They probably would have arrested me. Oh, wait a minute. No, come here.
Yeah, they hammer you pretty good. I know that. I know they come at you at every angle, and they ask you a lot of different questions. And so I'm very proud for the fact that he, went through it and never complained, never made it seem like it was, extremely difficult. He went through it really well.
I mean, he can come over literally right after work and not 1 inch of stress on him. So,
yeah,
you do like what everybody says is you leave home at home and you leave work at work. You truly leave work at work.
Yeah, no, and like I said before in the podcast, that I think that's the big problem that a lot of officers have a problem doing, is they take work with them when they're like, okay, are you Ricky now or are you Officer Ricky right now? Because it's like you gotta, in that sense, kind of have two ways. When you're with family, when you're with friends, hey, you're back to being that old, normal person that you were. You put on that uniform, you're still that person with those values that you don't lose. You're just now doing your job. But then again, you leave that there. You leave all that stuff that you got to look out for and everything. You leave that, all those worries and stress and all that, you leave that at work. And me and Beatrice, that's what we really, when we first got together, that was one thing that we really try to key in on is, hey, when we're at home, we're at home. We're not going to talk about work. We're not going to do this and that. We'll tell each other how our days were, but other than that, and that's what I told my parents too. Like, I don't want to be that, oh, he's, that cop family member or that cop friend that, he's always like, being that cop around you. You're like, man, this guy's just hovering over me.
Yeah. No, that's cool, man. Like I said, you come over and we don't see 1 inch of stress on you. That's cool. And the wife couldn't make it today?
She's actually working. She works at a surgical center.
That's right. I forget, man. I'm off.
Yeah.
I was off all this week, so it's like my mentality is still okay. Okay, so
it's
she's
not
at work.
The weekend right now.
Yeah,
yeah. And so she's a materials manager. So they had some issues they had to take care of with equipment and whatnot.
Okay.
So she gets busy, and when it comes to medical, you can't just leave wherever you want.
So you guys live in Apple Valley, or what's it called? No, I'm sorry,
Green Valley.
Green Valley. You guys actually met my kids first, I believe, because the wife and I actually won and it wasn't a contest. It was like an incentive. We took it as like a mini honeymoon. And the wife and I went to Huntington Beach and hung out with like big corporate people from work. And I believe Ricky and my sister-in-law volunteered to watch the kids. And then they ended up driving to your guys' house. And they said that they're the ones that got to taste your food first, and they loved it.
We're doing a pop-up.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, we're doing a pop-up there in Green Valley.
Yes.
Yeah, they were like, I remember they're all we got home and they got home and they're like excited.
Nice.
And
Wow.
they did this and they had snakes and we did that and la la la. Like, I'm like, snakes? You didn't say anything about snakes, Rick. You didn't say it. And the kids are in one piece, aren't they? Okay, you're right. They are in one piece. But no, they had such a fun time at you guys' house. And then the next time that you came around, or it was here for Ricky's birthday, I actually had won another trip, but it was just for me to go to Arizona to watch the Dodgers and the Angels like baseball camp.
Yeah.
I'm not into baseball, but I went. First time on a plane. Mm-hmm. I missed his birthday party, so I heard you were here. And then met you at Beatrice's birthday this year.
Yep.
That's when I kind of got to know you. We chit-chat for a little bit. and learned what you do for a living. But before we get there, a little background, how long you been married and childhood?
Been married now for 31 years now. And so growing up, I grew up in Washington State up north in the Yakima Valley. Small town, Topers, Washington. So my dad was the chef. My mom was also cooking, but she wasn't cooking extensively. She had been losing her sight, unfortunately, since she was like 26, 27 years old.
Due to diabetes or just because?
No, just, it just started diminishing little by little, and they didn't know why. They couldn't, it was just, there was no other health issues other than she started just, losing her sight.
Okay.
And it took years. It just started, going slowly. By the time she got to like 55, she was just seeing shadows at that point.
Oh man, that's
so
cool.
Yeah. So it was tough. And with her, she still cooked, but my dad was doing a lot of the cooking himself. So growing up, I would see them both cooking it, and I always enjoyed their food. My dad was always he would come home from work, and instantly he would just put stuff together. Right now, just boom, boom, boom. Even though he would come home, you can see that he's just tired, and he would just quickly just put food together and make it happen within 35, 45 minutes. Dinner for 10 people, because of all my siblings. There was 8 of us and 2 of them.
Okay.
And in a matter of minutes, he'd have a full meal for everyone. And so when I started going into high school, we had a program. I don't think they have it anymore, but
some do, but not the schools I went to.
Home ec? Yeah,
home ec. And I chose home ec because that's where all the girls were at.
Yeah. Is that where you met the wife?
No,
that was in Washington State. Sorry, honey. But and I had it right after lunch.
Okay.
So part of the actual class was every day we would give a list of ingredients that we were going to cook the following day, and the teacher would get everything that you ordered. She would bring it the next day.
Okay.
And during the class, we'd cook. So for lunch, I didn't have to worry about rushing to go get food or whatever, or if I didn't want the lunch, from school. I never had to worry about food because my next class,
there'll be food.
I was going to cook, and I always oh boy, they probably hated me. That's probably why they stopped that program, because I would steaks and stews and chicken and make
so home ec class, no more budget for that class.
No, I think I broke that budget because I was getting everything, and you gotta show the 4 food groups. So we at times we'd be making ice cream. You gotta have your dairy. You got to have your vegetables and, your meats and this. So, and then, of course, they were also grading you on table etiquette. You got to, properly raise your cup. Has to be on your right side and,
pinky out.
With the pinky out.
Yeah, this, that. The way you set your table with your forks and, spoons and this and that. It was fun. I had a lot of fun. And that's where it got kicked off for me. The cooking, I did it just because I just wanted that extra time to just chill for lunch.
Of course.
And then just kind of happened that, because of those classes.
Yeah.
Here we are today.
I accidentally kind of fell into it. Coming out of high school, moved over here to California, and I got into the electrical trade. Just because I saw this ad that said, join a recession-proof industry. And that was in 1985, where there was a recession going on. And when I saw that ad, I was thinking, okay, this is a scam. How could there be recession? What's recession-proof?
Yeah.
So I called them, just to see what they were about.
Because that's what you do when it's a scam. You
yeah, right.
You call them. It's a scam. Let me call him.
He would have been so suckered into the Facebook post nowadays.
Oh yeah.
I was like,
this is for sure a
scam you
scam.
guys got going on here.
Yeah.
So,
I'm gonna send him a scam where he can put his credit card number and help me feed my kids for a week.
and I just couldn't, because I was like, join a recession-proof industry. And I was like, okay, what makes these guys recession-proof? So I just called,
Yeah.
And then the guy tells me what they do. They're an electrical contractor, and he kind of went down the list of contractors, painting, landscape, roofing. He's like, in a recession, if your roof is leaking, you'll put a bucket. If your paint's peeling, let it peel. If the landscape is dried up or you have a broken sprinkler head, who cares? You ain't gonna, you don't have the money to pay someone.
Yeah.
But he said, but when the lights go out, you'll sell your wife in the streets to get the money to get those lights turned back on. I'm not kidding, man. That's what the guy said.
What a sales pitch.
Right.
And I was like, I'll be right over. And then he got me. And I went. And my brother Fernando had helped me buy a brand new a 1986. I mean, it was fresh.
R.I.P. Uncle Fred.
Yes, rest in peace, Fred. A Toyota, a little Toyota truck.
Okay.
Brand new. And so when I showed up, the owner of the company happened to be driving in and saw me drive in. So he asked me, hey, what's going on? And I said, I'm here for an interview. I'm going to, looking into getting a job with you guys. And he saw the truck and asked me, hey, whose truck is that? Oh, it's my truck. I was 18 years old. So it's your truck? Brand new. He's looking at it, right? Like, yeah, it's my truck. And in your name. It's in my name.
Wow.
So he's like, and you have insurance? Yeah, I have to have insurance. Okay. Can you start work today?
So pretty much he tested you. You're responsible, 18-year-old. Let's go.
Yeah, he hired me right there on the spot.
And also, I mean, it's like anything, he has a truck. Like, okay, he can carry equipment, tools like that.
Oh,
He's like,
gotcha.
boom.
Oh, yeah, no, and
Gotcha.
trust me.
Yeah.
And that was, as soon as he said, okay, come on in.
Yeah.
Sign me in. And then he said, okay, load those boxes and I'll give you directions how to get to the job site. Because I had a truck.
Yeah.
See?
And
So he used you for your truck.
Absolutely.
That's what it was.
Yep.
No responsibility. Forget that comment.
He was just
No,
like,
it
oh,
was-
this guy's got a
This
brand
guy's
new
got
truck.
a truck.
Yeah, there's a truck.
Oh, yeah.
The truck available now.
Oh, yeah. And because of that, I got hired. And I was thinking it's going to be just a summer thing.
Yeah.
But it turned out, something clicked with electrical, and it came easy to me. And I moved up through the ranks pretty quick because somehow it just, it made electrical has come pretty easy to me. I'm good at what I do with electrical. And, in 1997, I got my contractor state license. And been doing that ever since. And then I started cooking for all that time. I've been cooking.
Yeah, all the time. He's always cooked. I mean, my mom will also attest to it. She can't say right now because she's at work, but she will always say that most times my dad usually was the cook. My mom became cooking as my dad. And like I said, when he got his contractor license, working a little bit more hours, longer hours, stuff like that. So my mom's kind of forced her hand to kind of start cooking more as well. So, but majority of the time, if my dad was home, usually he would kind of be the one to cook because he kind of already had that upper hand. Like I said, and she'd always use that against him. Yeah, well, you took, home ed cook, class, so, you really had that jump and you just did it for the girl. She always throw that at him.
Well,
She's holding on to something that she wasn't even around.
Not in the same state.
Yeah.
But what's funny is, so when friends and family would come over and they would see me cooking and they would question like, hey, you're always cooking. What's the deal with your wife? And
Wait, what's the deal?
And I was like, I like to cook. I just like to cook. It's not that it's not that she doesn't know how to cook, but of course I made that comment that to the day I still get a lot of slack. I said, oh, but she makes a great cereal.
Wow.
Oh,
if
boy,
my kids were here, they would ask you what comes first, the cereal or the milk. So we'll ask her next time she's here, and then we'll say it was his fault. Oh, that's messed up, man.
Yeah.
No, but in my mom's defense, it's like even though my dad overall probably the better cook, my mom has him on a few dishes that he's tried to replicate, and I'm like, sorry, bud, my mom's is better.
Yeah.
No, I mean, because we let him know.
Fruit Loops or Frosted Flakes? Sorry, señora. Sorry if you're listening.
But yeah, no, that was that was something that I really always just fell in love with was with cooking. And then my brother Fernando, he always, I don't know if you know this, but I'm sure a lot of people know this, that in Mexico, a lot of siblings, they call each other nicknames. Right?
Yeah.
So my nickname was El Pollo.
El Pollo?
Yeah, because I was the baby of the family.
Oh, okay.
Right? And my brother Fernando, he was El Puerco. That boy liked to eat.
Oh.
And so, he would eat. And if you didn't finish your food, trust me, it wasn't going anywhere but right into his plate.
Yeah.
And so, me and him, we lived close to each other here in LA for many years until sadly, he passed away going on what's been 6 years now.
Yeah.
That he passed away from cancer.
Sorry about that.
Yeah, it was tough to see him go through all that. And unfortunately with the kind of work that he used to do, he was working as a city inspector. But prior to that, he was a cement mason for many years, and cement has a lot of chemicals, and we don't know for certain, but I'm thinking that's probably what may have caused
that's your main suspect.
Yeah, because it's all over the bags. It says on there, all this warnings, and everyone knows, but he would never wear a mask.
Yeah,
and so unfortunately. But he was, me and him, we'd get together and we'd cook, and it was just fun. I had a great time cooking with my brother.
That was your guys' bonding time.
Yeah. And my Uncle Fred's probably, up in the air, but probably one of the better cooks in the family.
Absolutely. Yeah, he loved to cook.
He threw down on the food, for sure.
Yep.
Well, the reason why I have you here is because Ricky sent me a link to a short little footage or video of you talking about the family recipe. Now, don't give me any secrets, but that video, first of all, the video was cool. It was a pretty cool video, you and explaining that your love for barbacoa and your pop-up. And so pop-up is just part-time thing, or and you do electrician full-time, or?
Yeah, that's a great question, because right now I'm struggling with the fact that I need to focus all my energy into the food industry. And it's been hard because I have a lot of clients here in Los Angeles. I've been very fortunate to have a nice base of clientele. And it's really hard for me to let go. It's really hard for me to let go because of the fact that I can get a lot of work done in a short amount of time. As far as when it comes to electrical troubleshooting or installations, it comes natural to me, man.
Well, I know it does, because I mentioned to you a few months ago, hey, I'm starting a podcast, and you already had all these ideas, and I'm like, whoa, dude, I just spent $600. It's okay, dude, Rick, tell your dad to call. It's going to cost me more money. Wonderful ideas, but I can't spend the money right now. And I saw you helping them at their house right away.
Air conditioning, fans, lighting. Let's do it, man.
This guy wanted to pimp out my garage the second I met him.
Pimp Andy's garage,
right? Is there a TV show for that?
Go fund me soon.
Go fund me, guys.
Pimp Andy's garage.
No, so I know that of you. That's real cool of you.
And so it was hard for me, to just let go of the electrical. I have I have a lot of clients that they're not wanting me to get out of it, but at the same time they're really they're really happy that I am getting into the food industry, because they everywhere I go to work, I always take food.
Food's your passion.
It's like I'm the cooking contractor. I show up and I bring, I bring the work. I bring all my tools to do their work, but I also bring food. Not just for me for my lunch.
Of course.
I bring food so that whoever is there.
Well,
I'm talking about
I invited you to
everybody.
a podcast and you brought us all food. He's not lying, people.
That's what I do, man. Wherever I go, I bring food, and people are just like, "What? You brought lunch?" Like, yeah, man. I got tacos. I'll bring tinga, or I'll do pizzas.
Okay.
I'll do chicken. All kinds. I think Ricky's probably burned out on the rosemary chicken.
Oh,
Boy,
yeah.
I love rosemary chicken.
Yeah.
There was a point that I was like on this mission to have rosemary chicken every day.
In high school, when we were playing basketball, we would always have our team meals before our games, and my dad obviously loved to cook, and obviously me being part of the team, we had a really good group of guys. He wanted to really be part of it as well, so he would tell my coach, hey, he'll provide the food for us. And obviously he cooks really good, so they're like, yeah, of course, no problem, and it's healthy food, and we know it's coming from a reliable source. But usually the meals all the time were rosemary chicken, and I had that.
Not always.
That's what I said. Usually,
I was on this little kick for at least a couple weeks.
Yeah.
No, it was for a few months. Pretty much my whole season.
No
rosemary
way.
chicken.
Not the whole season.
And I was like, oh man, I'm done with this rosemary chicken. I am burnt out from it. Even to this day, I'm like, I'll have some, but after a while, I'm like, all right, I'm good with my rosemary chicken.
If you've never had a barbecued rosemary chicken, I suggest you try it.
No, it's really good. It's really good.
We'll schedule another episode so that you can bring some more.
It's good. It's just after
stuff.
a while, it gets and then because he was having it so often, he started putting a little extra more rosemary, and I'm like, dude, I'm having like a Christmas tree at this point, man. Come on.
So what got you into making this famous barbacoa?
Well, it goes back again to my, that flavor. I've been having barbacoa. Oh, I want to mention one thing.
Go for it.
Here in Los Angeles.
Your episode.
There's something wrong at some point along the way. Birria is birria and barbacoa is barbacoa. But everywhere you go in LA, it says tacos de birria.
Okay, in that case, this guy said birria. My dad's bringing birria.
Which
shame on you, Ricky.
Yeah.
Shame on you.
I don't know what meat he was going to bring at the time.
Okay. Because birria is either goat or lamb.
Okay.
And barbacoa is beef. That's the way it's always been, but
it looks like carnitas. I mean,
yeah. But it's like saying someone bringing you a soup and saying, "Hey, man, you want some chicken soup?" And then you try it, and it's like,
there's no
Wait
chicken
a
in
minute.
it.
This is fish.
Yeah.
No, it's chicken soup, buddy. But it tastes like fish. Well, you can't call it chicken soup if it's actually fish soup. So that's essentially what I see in the streets. Everybody calls it
birria.
Tacos de birria. And then I go, okay, is it goat or lamb? Like, and they look at me strange, like, beef. What are you thinking? Well, then it's barbacoa.
Yeah.
I don't know. At some point, I don't know what happened, but somehow the name got, changed up, or I don't know, I guess. But now everybody says birria, and it's whatever they want it to be.
It's really barbacoa.
So, you ask for chicken.
You hear that,
chicken
63 listeners? It's barbacoa, not birria. That's the top number. I got 63 listeners.
So right now, my, that flavor, I've had that barbacoa flavor and birria flavor. I know it really well. And, and honestly, because of the way my dad and my brother cooked it, and it actually came from my great-grandfather. But from my great-grandfather, it only got passed down to one son, and that's the way it went. So it went from my great-grandfather to my grandfather to my father, and then to my brother. So it wasn't in my hands. It was in my brother's hands, and it was supposed to go to his son. Unfortunately, his son didn't pick it up. So the day my brother passed away, I never asked my brother. First of all, I never asked him for the recipe, because I was happy just knowing that somebody in the family was going to have it, and I was more than happy to know that my nephew was going to take over, making it. And so the day of the funeral, I mentioned to my nephew, "Hey, it's in your hands. Now it's on you now." And that's when he said, "Uncle, I don't know how to make it.
Oh.
And man, it was like someone just punched me in the gut, because I'm thinking, okay, all right, so if you don't know how to make it.
And you said this recipe was in the family for like 100 years?
Yeah.
I believe that's what your video said?
It's just over 100 years now.
Okay.
And I couldn't believe that he didn't have it. And I think everybody, because, I'm not kidding, man. I was like, I felt like.
You just telling me the story, I see your facial expression,
I'm just
man.
like,
You look hurt.
My God. I'm like, are you kidding me? How, you didn't ask I didn't want to accept the fact my dad was going to die. I was hoping he'd beat the cancer and I didn't need to take it from him right now.
Oh, okay.
But once he got so sick from all the symptoms, I don't think it was on anybody's mind to, hey, Dad, what about the recipe?
You're dying. Can I get the recipe?
Yeah. So,
I don't think that's one thing you asked.
So, I never asked him, but my brother would call me to tell me, hey, guess who asked for the recipe? And he would tell me, yeah, a niece, a nephew, an aunt, uncle, whatever. But he would always tell me, I'm not giving them the recipe. I'm just giving them pieces of it. And if they can figure out the rest, God bless them. But I'm not giving the recipe in full, the full thing. But if they can figure it out, go for it.
Yeah.
So that day, everybody was looking at me like, what's going on? What's wrong? What's wrong with you? Well, I just told him that that was my nephew saying, I don't have the recipe in it, and I don't know if I should be throwing his name under the bus too.
The barbacoa exists, so it's okay. It's there.
It's and it's funny because he would always give people parts of it, and so all of a sudden, all the people that were at the funeral, oh, don't worry, he gave it to me, and oh, I got it too, and then all of a sudden, everybody had it. And I said, okay, you know what? I guarantee you, whatever you have,
it's not it.
And so it's okay. Let's go to San Diego. Everybody bring whatever you got, and let's see what you have. And sure enough, everybody showed up with their little, piece of paper that had the recipe supposedly written down. Oh, he gave it to me piece by piece. All right, let me see. That everybody's was different.
Yeah. Yep. I remember that. Yep.
Nobody had the same thing.
So
it was all over the place.
So did he really have the recipe, or he's just bluffing everybody?
He was just giving people just like pieces of it.
Oh, okay.
So then I took all the pieces. So it's like I had a puzzle.
Oh, okay.
And then I compiled everybody's, and then I started working on it, and I started wrenching on it, and it took me 1 year and 7 months
to come up with the recipe.
But there was
to that flavor.
Yes, because I knew that flavor well. I've had it all my life.
Yeah.
Since I was a little baby, and that's what we had.
Growing up.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. And my dad had that recipe. I mean, he knew how to make it perfect. And so there was something missing. There was something missing that I couldn't, but nobody had that particular item, that ingredient was not on anybody's list.
Okay.
And it was the key to the whole thing. And I just went up and down trying to figure out, like, man, there is one thing. So I call my mom. My mom doesn't know the recipe, but she just would remember ingredients that he would have. She didn't know how much.
Like on a table or like when he was setting up.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And she always remembered the stuff that he would go buy. Oh, I forget. I'm going to go get that. And so, so then I started telling her, I got this, that. And I went through the whole list.
Yeah.
And she's like, well, you've got everything except you haven't said
blah, blah, blah. That's fine. Don't say it. You don't have to say it. You don't have to say it. That's fine.
And I was like, what is that?
Yeah.
I had never even heard of this. That
ingredient.
It's a spice.
Okay.
And I had never even heard of it.
Okay.
And I was like, whoa, what is that? He's like, oh yeah, no, that takes that, he would just grab enough with his fingers and it's very strong. And I was like, really? I was like, wow, I've never heard of that. Man, of course, I hung out with my mom and went straight to the store. And I bought it. And I called everyone and said, hey, I got the missing link. I'm going to San Diego this weekend. I think I got what's missing. So we went to San Diego. And, I was thinking, could this be the missing link? So the whole idea with the way my dad and the way my brother, the flavor of the birria, which is lamb or goat, when it's made proper, it shouldn't be gamey. the flavor is just amazing. You know, it shouldn't be. I don't know if you've ever had lamb or goat, but it's going to be a little gamey. Naturally, it is. That's just the nature of that meat.
Yeah.
But when you cook it proper, and when your adobo is proper, it almost eliminates that gamey flavor.
I'm so freaking lost right now.
You know,
you know what flavor we're talking about? It's like a little nasty musk.
Okay.
It's like at the back of your throat. After you eat it,
Yeah.
it lingers. It's like this nasty musk that I can.
you're gonna still have it.
Okay.
You know, the way we make it, you'll still have, you know, but mild on the mild side.
Okay.
I would even say honestly, because I don't like that at all. And
Yeah, I don't like it either because I'm not used to.
When he cooks it, it's almost not even noticeable at all. Yeah.
And so when
remember,
we went,
I'm used to McDonald's and shit, dude.
and so when we went to San Diego and we cooked it, I made both. I made birria and barbacoa. So I made lamb, but I also made beef at the same time. And so I had told everybody, okay, once it was done, I had said, okay, the pot on your left is lamb, and the one on the right is the beef, just so they don't get it mixed up.
Mixed up.
And so everybody started, you know, making their plates, and they would go ahead and you know, put the lamb on the left, and then beef on the right on the plate, right? And they started eating. Yeah, so they would say, "Tio, is it on the left or the right? The lamb." So lamb, left, LL, it's on the left, and the beef is on the right. And it's like, but it tastes like beef. They both taste like beef. And I'm thinking, bingo.
That's what it's supposed to taste like.
That's what it's supposed to taste like. That's the whole idea with when the adobo is proper.
Yeah.
They should both taste really close to the same.
Okay.
But there is a tiny bit of a difference on the lamb. You will get that, and people
and the
enjoy
texture
that.
is also a little bit different. Yeah.
And it's amazing. And yeah, that's you know, and the sad part for me, the day that I finally got it to work, and I was just like, man, I was bummed because I knew that my brother and my dad was not going to ever, you know, taste
What
it
you
coming from me. So,
yeah.
you know, at that point I was like, wow, it's
So it was a bittersweet moment for you.
Oh yeah, absolutely, man, because I knew that that it was back, and we were all super excited because we were like, yeah, this is it. That's the exact flavor. And my friend in Los Angeles, when I came back, that wasn't we cooked it over the weekend.
Yeah.
And we made 60 pounds of meat.
Well, we had like a family reunion.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You don't see those 60-pound reunions right now, right?
No.
And when for whatever reason, I can't remember why you guys couldn't make it. I think you guys had like school activities going on. Maybe you had a basketball game. Something was going on that you guys couldn't make it.
No, we went to San Diego.
Not that time, because when I came back, you guys were asking me, where is it?
Yeah.
And I didn't bring any because there was nothing left. I mean, I'm not kidding you.
Oh, yeah, no, you're right.
Everybody was in the ollas
Yeah.
with tortillas and just
Scraping out of it.
scraping the sides just to get the flavor on the tortilla.
Wow.
I was like, I mean, you know, we washed them clean with tortillas.
Yeah. You didn't have to wash the bowl, right?
No.
Put it back where
And so,
it went.
Right.
it was funny because, you know, this I can say because I'm sure people have seen it. But anyways, the maguey, I had to go through, you know, in San Diego. I went looking for maguey through the neighborhoods.
That's a plant that people.
That's
don't
a plant?
know. That's a
Okay.
plant. Yeah.
That we use. And I went through the neighborhoods, you know, looking for it. And I finally saw someone's yard I was like, they ain't gonna miss a couple of these. So whoever it was, sorry, that was me.
Yeah, because
Don't
they
sue
really,
me, sue him.
yeah, because they really don't. Yeah, they don't really sell that plant in the
No.
stores.
No, they don't.
But let's talk about this pop-up, man. So you have so again, you do this in a
little
part-time, like
Part time right now. I'm trying to do it now full time. You know, trying to get into it where I can. Well, let me elaborate on how it all happened.
go for it.
So when I came back to Los Angeles from San Diego, I cooked the same stuff again on Monday. I called in sick. Basically, I just texted myself.
I'm not going to work. I'm not going. Oh, he's not coming to work.
What's your excuse? I'm cooking. But funny is that I got a call from a client for an emergency, and I told him, hey, you know what? I'm at an emergency, and as soon as I'm done with this one, I'll be right over to your place.
Yeah.
And actually, I was gonna cook. I'm not gonna say their name. But anyway, so I cooked it again at home because I was thinking, okay, was that a hit or was it a miss? Did I accidentally hit that flavor or that was it?
So the fact that everybody wiped the bowl with their tortilla wasn't good enough for you?
Well, I was,
You'd be surprised. A lot of chefs are
time.
like that.
Yeah?
Like, from what I've noticed, especially him, and I've seen a lot of like shows and cooking shows and like being around other chefs, that's kind of like how it is. Like, they don't believe that you're being honest. They think, no, he's just being nice right now. They're just being nice.
Gotcha.
Because he'll make something really good, like something new. I'm like, hey, what do you guys think?
So let me get this straight. Hold on. Sorry.
Yeah.
So we all told him it was delicious. Mm-hmm. So on his drive home, he'll be thinking about it. Were they lying to me, or because it really was?
That's why. Like, I mean, that's literally how he is. He'll make something new, and I'll be like, "Oh yeah, dude, that was delicious." He goes like, "Was it really delicious, or are you just messing with me?" Like, no, dude, it was good. Doesn't need anything else, dude. It tastes phenomenal.
You know what I loved about his video? That when he said that when he witnesses somebody take a bite into his taco, and just their facial expression says it all. That was pretty cool, man.
Oh, thanks,
like
man.
That should tell you it's good.
Well, that's the. I think that's the drive for me is making sure, because I know what it's like. I love to eat food, and I don't mind paying, and I don't mind paying, high end food. I don't mind it if it's elevated to the point to where it's going to cost more than you can imagine. That's fine, but it has to be able to don't tell me it's going to be a $60 to $100 plate, and then I'm thinking, my God, this is horrible.
Is not what
It's like, come on, man. I don't mind paying, but it better be good.
Yeah.
And that's my feeling when I'm selling someone food. I'm thinking, man, this better be good, because if not, I know what it's like to be on the other side of this.
Yeah.
Where you're thinking. So going back to getting into the pop-up, one of the main things that happened was, of course, I cooked again. I cooked it on that Monday. I cooked it again, and I tasted it, and I was like, wow, no, this is it.
Yeah.
This is it. And I was so excited. And the first thing that came to my mind was my buddy Butch. Butch's son and my son, they played basketball together in high school, and he had a shop just down the street on York Boulevard in Highland Park. And so the first thing that came to my mind was, oh man, I got to take a sample to Butch. So I instantly packed up the barbacoa, and took tortillas and the salsa and, the whole thing, the onions, cilantro, and just rushed over to him. And I went into he had a vape shop.
Okay.
So I go in there and say, you got to try this. And actually, you know what? I actually made birria.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it was actually birria.
It was. Yeah.
Yeah, that day I actually made birria. Mm-hmm. And I know because he loves lamb and goat. Mm-hmm. And I took it in and I gave him a sample, and he was like, oh, dude, you got to sell this stuff. And I was like, man, I ain't trying to sell it. I just want you to try it. He's like, no. This weekend we have a art walk, and we need someone to sell tacos here.
Okay.
And they have this whole parking lot. And he tells me, we'll give you the whole parking lot, and you can set up shop, and you can sell tacos out of that corner on, I believe that's 51st and York Boulevard.
Yes.
It's a body shop that's there, and so the body shop, the guy who owns the body shop owns like 4 buildings.
Okay.
And so he is, he's the landlord of the shop that my buddy has for the vape goat. And so when he told me about this, I said, man, what do I know about selling food? I don't know anything about, setting up shop.
Yeah.
And he said, man, just do it one time. Just try it one time. So I didn't agree to it just yet. So Butch hit me up and asked me, hey, are you going to do it or not? Because this was already, when I took him to food, that was Monday. So Tuesday, Wednesday. So Wednesday, he called me and said, hey, you want to do it or not? Because I got to get someone. And at that point, he put me on the spot. And I said, you know what? I'll do it. And so on Friday, I took another day off.
2 days off in 1 week. Wow. Let me guess. You touch yourself again?
And so I went, and I was thinking, you know what? It's going to be an art walk where they sell, a bunch of artists from LA. They come in, and they put up their artworks in everyone's shops, and people just walk up and down and, whatever
it's literally
they like.
From like legit artwork to like clothing, pottery,
all kinds of stuff.
A bunch of different stuff. It's not just like murals. It's like a bunch of other like stuff that local artists or local vendors come together to kind of just sell their merchandise.
Okay.
Yeah, and
kind of like a strawberry festival and like a avocado festival.
Yeah, kind of.
So I feel like half of it's the festival, and the other half's like a yard sale.
Yeah, so like exactly. So
it's
like,
legit stuff. I mean, there was some stuff in there that was going for $25,000 for a painting.
Wow.
Yeah, no, there's some stuff that was like I was like, whoa. At their shop, they had some pieces that were going up to $27,000, and starting some that were $250.
Okay,
but it's really nice stuff.
Cool.
So I'm thinking it's gonna be an art walk. And had never done anything like that before, never sold food. And so I was thinking, you know what? I don't want to have the same tired taco in a French fry holder. And so I was thinking,
that's how he serves it to you guys. That's pretty good.
And so what I did is I put it inside because I was thinking, okay, because at job sites we'll have the cones for water.
Yeah, that's what I meant. My bad. The little cones.
Yeah, the little cones. So I was thinking, you know what? I'll put a cone and I'll make, because they don't sell them. I made my own little cone holder, and I have saws to make holes. So I drilled some holes on top of this a 1 by 3.5 inch board, and I created these little cone holders. So the cone goes into the holder, and then I put the tortilla into it, mold the tortilla into the what I call it, the cone.
The little funnel thing. It looks like a funnel. Little cardboard funnel. Paper.
And so, and I thought, will it work? So then I had some food with me. So I was like, I'm going to try it.
Yeah.
And it worked. So I was like, wow, actually it looks pretty cool. And so that's what we did. That's how we ended up selling, we ended up calling them, we named it a tacon.
Okay.
Taco.
And so, taco and a cone.
Yeah.
Because it doesn't spill all over the place. You use a fork, so it kind of gets people to just slow down for a second, enjoy it, fork it out. And then you can still bite into the tortilla.
Well, you're right, because normally I will eat a taco in like 2 bites.
Absolutely.
This one took me longer.
Yes. Yeah, and that's the whole thing is with the tacon, you actually do take a little bit longer because you can't just chomp it down.
No.
And at the end, there's always a little shot of
the juice.
Yeah. Oh, and I always tell them, hey, don't you throw that away. There's a shot in there for you. And people caught on to that. Yeah. Taking the little shot. And so the next day when we started on Saturday, we started, for the first time doing a pop-up, and I was nervous, and a guy shows up. He was, dressed, Latino man showed up with his wife and daughter. And he was dressed, real nice suit.
Okay.
His wife, it's like they were going to an opera, they were suited up really nice. And he walks up to our stand, and this gentleman was the first one to ever, buy.
Try.
Yeah, that was going to be our first, because we were
it wasn't family. The first non-family person to try the barbacoa.
And we were selling them for $2 a taco.
Okay.
And so he pulls up, and he's like, we just got done eating, but I can't pass up barbacoa. He's like, because in LA, it's really hard to find it good. And it's true, because I've been searching for a spot myself for over 30 years, and I haven't been able to find one because of the flavor that I'm used to from my mom. From my dad and my brother. And so I was like, oh man. this guy's gonna,
criticize the hell out of you.
And I just started sweating bullets, man. I was like, oh boy, man. And then it gets even better because the guy says, I fly my family from LA. We fly to Guadalajara to Jalisco.
No way.
Just for this dish. And then I was just like, "Whoo, man! Thanks, thank you for the extra," And so I was thinking, "Oh my God, this guy's gonna just torture me right now." And it was the first taco ever.
Yeah.
So then I give him the, I made. They each had one.
Yeah.
So I gave him the taco and I put him in the holder because there's 3. A flight is 3, so I had 3 tacos in there for them. And he was like, "Wow, this is interesting. Wow, I've never seen anybody deliver a taco like this before."
Yeah.
And so they pick them up.
It's the first time I've seen it.
Yeah, it's been fun. People really enjoy it. Mm-hmm. And so he picks it up. They all started eating, and they were like, "Wow." And then he asked me, "Do you have a restaurant?" "No, I don't have a restaurant." I said, "But with God's help in the future, I'd love to open one up." And he says, "But you have a food truck." I didn't want to lie.
Yeah.
So I do have a truck. It's just like electrical. It's a construction truck.
You stretched the truth.
Yeah. I know. I was standing there helping, and then he said it. And I looked. I'm like,
"You lying sack."
I'm like, "We got a food truck?"
Like, "You have a food truck?" And I was like, "Yeah, I have a truck."
You didn't lie. You didn't lie.
And I didn't like it. I was like, "I have a truck." I didn't say a food truck. Yeah. I said, "I have a truck." And so then he says, "You're going to sell a lot of this because this is better than the place that we go to in Mexico."
Wow.
And I was like, "No way." And he's like, "Wow." I was just blown away. And I was like, "Really?" He's like, "Oh yeah, this is amazing." He gave us a $20 tip on a $2 taco.
Damn.
Okay. Then he gives me a business card and tells us, if you ever need an investor, a partner, a friend, advice. He was a developer. He designed, I guess, mini malls and whatever. I don't know. Gives us a business card and it says, "Look me up. Call me." He's like, "I will never forget who you are because I have never seen anybody deliver a taco in this form."
What's funny is that not personally because I don't own my own business, but people that own their own business, and I see it all the time because I'm in liquor stores all the time. They have their first dollar bill, the first dollar they made, on a plaque to remind them where they come from. Mm-hmm. Dude, you got your first taco. You got like somebody offering you to be a business partner.
I was blown away by that.
You keep the business card?
Oh yeah, no, I have it. Oh yeah. And what's funny is that we waited till him and his wife and his child until they were far enough away. Yeah. And we were looking at him like, wait for it. They're on the other side of the street. Yes! We're just like, yes! No way! Nice. We're like, dude, did that just happen? They're like, what? Nice. What's that about?
That's amazing, man.
And we were blown away. And when that happened, it made me calm down because I was so nervous. Yeah. Because I was thinking, man, what am I doing out here? Yeah. Are you kidding me? What am I selling food?
How long you been doing the food thing, the pop-up for?
It's been like 4 years now.
So it hasn't even been that long?
No.
Wow.
No. I've been doing electrical the entire time. Yeah. Until just recently. Interesting. Right before the coronavirus really started hitting hard.
We don't call it coronavirus. We call it COVID-19.
Well, it's funny because
Corona pays my bill. You're drinking a Corona, my friend. It pays the bills. You don't say Corona.
Well, you know what? I'm glad you said it.
You can say Corona, just don't add a virus to it.
Well, you know what's funny is that actually I actually call it the sieve.
The sieve?
I call it the sieve.
We rule in the house. You don't call it coronavirus because Corona pays our bills. We call it the actual name, COVID-19, or just 19 for short. Anyways, go ahead, buddy. Sorry.
It's before the sieve. So I had looked at a location for a restaurant, like a commissary, type. I have a concept that's a little bit different from what's normal that I want to do. And so I found a place that we were going to get into to rent. But when I was about to make that deal, I was thinking, you know what? Maybe there's a better place. Yeah. So before I, pull the trigger, let's see if there is a better place. Can we, find a better location? That place had to be built out still. So I kind of liked the fact that it was a completely gutted location, had good parking. It was right off of the 5 freeway in Sun Valley. But it was
Sun
gutted.
Valley. There, being
It's
from
just
that,
north.
Yeah, no, I
Burbank.
always do this. Every episode that somebody mentions a town, I always remember where I'm at and where Sun Valley is. Sun Valley is going to be somewhere that way, if I'm correct.
Yeah,
going
north of Burbank.
Going towards Valencia, right? Like, okay.
Yep. And so, I said, oh, maybe there's a better place. So in between my buddy, Robert Ortega, and, he's a real estate agent. And so I was thinking, okay, can we get a better place? And so he kept calling, hey, man, what do you want to do about this place? Let's just hold off.
Yeah.
Well, all of a sudden, the Civ hits.
The Civ.
And everything gets shut down.
Oh, man.
And had I put my money into it, I would have been in trouble.
Yeah.
Because, there's nothing going on, especially with a new build out and trying to, build it up.
Yeah.
At that point, I probably would have lost quite a bit of money. And so things happen for a reason. Now there is restaurants, unfortunately, that are going under left and right.
Yeah.
Now, because I didn't spend the money and I didn't lose any of it because I didn't put any money down.
Yeah.
So now it's take your pick. Where do you want to go?
Because your pop-up is mobile.
Not only that, but now there's a bunch of restaurants that are going out of business. So now I have the choice of there's
Closer
tons of
to
them.
home.
They're for lease. There's a lot of restaurants for lease now because
sadly,
a lot of them unfortunately.
Yeah.
And a true businessman once told me the best time to buy or get into a business is when the blood is fresh in the streets. Well, I'll tell you what. It doesn't get any fresher than what it is right now. And I hate to say it that way, but it is what it is. There's people that are losing their restaurants. And unfortunately, for what happened to them, I have a choice of now picking up these locations with fully equipped. And, I feel bad for so many.
No, I get you.
Are going to lose out.
Yeah. I was just mentioning that the other day to a friend, I believe last episode, where 2020 has been financially good to us, and it kind of hurts saying that because there's a lot of people that aren't.
Yes.
But hopefully this thing is over. You get to open your restaurant, and once you open your restaurant, let us know. We'll come down, and trust me, my 63 listeners will know about your restaurant.
Well, I appreciate all the support.
Man, it was, again, great having you here. Like I said, I think the first day I met you, I was like, hey, I need to have you on the podcast. Just by, having that conversation with you. Again, thank you for making this guy right here. He's a good guy to my kids. My kids love him. I don't get tired of saying it. And like I end every podcast, thank you for riding with me.
Hey, thank you for the ride, Andy. I truly do appreciate you having me here, and I'm more than happy to share this wild story, and we'll see where it goes.
I'm gonna plug in your guys' video on the descriptions. Is that okay?
That's okay.
All right, guys. Thank you again.
Thank you for listening to Ride With Me, the Flat Tire Indie Podcast. You can also listen to us on iTunes, Spotify, and Podbean.